3 years have passed since my husband left this world. We were married for 50 years. Half a century together. His laughter, his complaints, even his snoring. All of it's fading now, slipping into memory. But then one day, tucked away in an old drawer, I found something. A bank account. Balance $270,000. But the name on the account, it wasn't mine. Lee Soon-ja. That's when everything I thought I knew about my marriage began to crumble. And a truth that had been hidden for 60 years finally started to surface. That morning started like any other. I set out breakfast at his memorial photo, the way I always do. My son called about the life insurance settlement. He asked if I'd found all the house documents and bank accounts yet. That's when I remembered. My husband's old desk drawer. 50 years of marriage, and I'd never once opened it. It was his space, his territory, off limits. But now he was gone. It needed to be sorted out. I opened the drawer. Old papers, faded photographs, and there, pushed into the corner, a thick brown N. Inside was a bank statement. National Bank Savings Account. Account holder Lee Soon-ja. Balance $270,345.82. The room started spinning. Who is Lee Soon-ja? My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the pages. I flipped through the transaction history. Every single deposit was from my husband. March 1995, $200. April 1995, $200. January 1996, $300. For over 30 years, month after month without fail, he'd been sending money to someone behind my back. I couldn't breathe. We were never well off. We got up at 4 a.m. to sell at the market just to pay for the kids' school. In winter, we kept the heat low to save money. And this whole time, he'd been sending over $250,000 to another woman. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at his photo for hours. Who were you, Ree? The next morning, I couldn't eat. I went to the senior center. My friend Betty took one look at my face and knew something was wrong. The tears came. I couldn't hold them back anymore. I showed her the bank statement. Her face went pale. Lee Soon-ja. She'd heard that name before. That's when Margaret, sitting beside us, spoke up. That woman used to live in our neighborhood. There were rumors about her and my husband. My heart dropped. People said he used to visit her house often when they were young. The room went silent. I went home, tore through his belongings, old letters, work documents. Then I found a small photo album. The moment I opened it, my breath stopped. A black and white photograph, my husband young and smiling. But next to him, a strange woman holding a baby. She was beaming. His hand was around her shoulder. On the back, written in pencil, Soon-ja, Young-woo, and baby Min-soo, March 1965. 1965. 1 year before we got married. Min-soo? My hands wouldn't stop trembling. That night, I sat in front of his photo with a bottle of wine. I wanted to throw the glass, to scream, but I couldn't. He was already gone. By dawn, I'd made up my mind. I needed the truth. I took the bank statement to the bank. The clerk said she couldn't give me information due to privacy laws. I begged her. This was my husband's account. He's dead now. I don't even know what this is. After a long pause, she spoke quietly. This account was originally opened for a minor, someone named Min-soo. When he turned 18, it was transferred to his mother, Lee Soon-ja. So Min-soo was his son? Look your ass, the last deposit was 5 years ago, right around the time my husband died. My legs gave out. The clerk wrote down an address for me. I went home and spent days wrestling with it. Should I go there? Or should I just pretend I never found it? But the questions wouldn't stop. What happened to that child? Why did my husband send money all those years? A week later, I got on the bus. The address on the account, an old industrial area on the outskirts of town. I walked down narrow alleys until a sign caught my eye, Minsu's Woodworking. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst. I opened the door. The smell of sawdust and fresh wood filled the air. And then a man turned to look at me. Mid-50s, rough beard, work clothes. I felt a chill run down my spine. He looked exactly like my husband, like stepping back in time. The man froze when he saw me. Then he spoke quietly. "Ma'am, I knew you'd come." Minsu led me to a small office, an old desk, a faded calendar, and on the wall a photo of my husband. He'd heard about the passing, but he didn't go to the funeral. It wouldn't have been his place. Both shaking hands, I pulled out the bank statement. Minsu looked at it and gave a sad smile. That's the money his father sent him all these years. They never met face to face, but my husband never missed a single month. His father's first son. When his mother was pregnant, my husband left. Minsu opened an old drawer. He pulled out a stack of letters. Letters his father had sent him his entire life. He never wrote back. The letters kept coming month after month. He opened one. "Minsu, your dad is a coward who couldn't even show you his face. But I never forgot you. Not for a single day. I'm sorry. I love you." The tears came. Minsu's mother passed away 10 years ago. She raised him alone her whole life. She never resented my husband. She just said he did what he had to do. When Minsu turned 20, my husband came to see him once. He watched from a distance, then turned and left. His mother told him later that my husband was crying. My chest felt like it was caving in. My husband told Minsu's mother something that day. If I step into his life, both families will fall apart. So he chose to watch from afar. That's when it all made sense. Why he drank so much. Why I'd sometimes find him crying alone. Why he always looked at me with such apologetic eyes. Minsu said one last thing. His father lived his whole life drowning in guilt. Guilt toward Minsu. Guilt toward Minsu's mother. On the bus ride home, I couldn't stop crying. Betrayal and compassion twisted together inside me. When I got home, my son was there. I handed him the bank statement. "This is what your father left behind. You had a brother, an older brother." His face went rigid. That night, the house erupted. My son was shouting, "How could this be? Dad lied to us." My daughter was crying. "Did you know, Mom, this whole time?" I said, "No," I told them. He never said a word, not once. After that night, the house went silent. It avoided me. I couldn't look at my husband's photo. A month passed. Then Minsu called. He wanted to see me one more time. I went back to the wood shop. Minsu handed me an old wooden box. His father had sent it by mail right before he died. Inside was my husband's watch and a letter. I unfolded it. "Minsu, there's something I never got to say to you. I'm sorry. I love you. And tell Yoon-jung something for me. The two most precious people in my life were you and her. But I couldn't protect both of you. That's my sin. Yoon-jung, thank you for 50 years together. You were the light of my life. Don't hate Minsu. He's just as precious to me as you are." Tears fell onto the letter. Minsu was crying too. I shook my head. "This isn't your fault. Not yours, not his." I took Minsu's hand. "Your father was a coward," I told him. "He tried to protect two families and ended up hurting both. But he did the best he could." Minsu squeezed my hand. "Thank you for forgiving him." "It's not forgiveness," I said. "It's understanding. We're all weak. All of us." That day, I gave the account back to Minsu. "This is what your father left for you. It's yours." I handed him the watch too. "This is yours now." Minsu held the watch and broke down completely. "It feels like I finally met him," he said. When I got home, I sat in front of my husband's photo. It must have been so hard, I told him. The photo just smiled back at me. The sin of loving two women. The sin of not being able to hold both sons. You carried that weight your entire life. The sun was setting outside the window. Rest now. I'll take care of what you left behind. The next week, Min-soo came to the house. It was the first time he met my son and daughter. It was awkward, but it wasn't bad. Min-soo told them they could just call him by his name. That brother might be too much to ask. My son answered, "No, I'll call you my brother because Dad loved you." That evening, we shared a meal together. 3 siblings sitting around the table, my husband's empty chair in the middle. It was the scene he must have dreamed of his whole life. When people die, they leave stories behind. Some stories hurt. Some stories heal. The story my husband left was both. I don't resent it anymore. I just want to tell him one thing. You did well?